Hello, my name is Laura and I have some news to share. I'm pregnant. My husband and I have been looking forward to starting a family since we got married, and back in January my period was a couple days late, so I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive, which was really exciting. When I took the test, I felt like I already knew I was pregnant just because my period was always pretty consistent. So when I took the test, I was already expecting it to be positive and I was really excited. Even though I already had a feeling I was pregnant, I still kind of felt like it wasn't real. It's just such a weird feeling when you've been wanting something for so long and then it finally happens. Like, it just felt kind of dreamlike, and I told my husband and we were both really happy and excited, but it's just so weird because you don't really feel pregnant right away. A couple weeks later, I had my first doctor's appointment and I just went to my GP, my family doctor, and the first thing they did was a urine test to verify that yes, I was actually pregnant. And then they weighed me, and then I had a talk with my doctor, and it was basically very overwhelming. She gave me so much information all at once. I was like madly trying to write it down or just trying to remember and understand like all the things I had to do, all these appointments I had to make, and it was really overwhelming. Like, I wish my husband could have been there with me to like help take notes or help retain all this information. But the main gist of it was that my doctor doesn't do deliveries anymore, so I had to find a midwife. The day after my first doctor's appointment, I called to make my first ultrasound appointment, and when I called, I was expecting the appointment to be like a week from then, 2 weeks from then, but they were like, "Are you free today?" And I was just so caught off guard that I would go and get the ultrasound done right away. So my husband took me that day and I had to have a full bladder, so I really had to pee, and we were in the waiting room for quite a while because it seemed like they just kind of fit us in at the end of the day, so we did have to wait a long time. The ultrasound technician told me, don't worry if they can't find the baby or see the baby right away, just because I was probably really early in my pregnancy and sometimes it is hard to find the baby. So like, I laid down on the bed with my shirt up and she used the wand to try to find the baby, and she just wasn't getting a good image. Like, it was pretty blurry. She gave me two options, so basically I could come back in another 2 weeks and they would try again then, or they could do the ultrasound internally and hopefully get a better picture that way. And I just figured I was already there. I really wanted to see the little baby inside me, so I said, okay, let's do the internal ultrasound. So that was a little bit uncomfortable, but really not that bad. And she was able to find the heartbeat and it was perfectly healthy, and the baby was like a tiny little bean on the screen, like the size of a little peanut. And it just kind of suddenly felt real, like, wow, there's actually something inside me. Like, it's just such a crazy feeling, like, to finally have that confirmation that there's actually a baby there. And from that ultrasound, she was able to determine my due date, so that's in September. So at the time of my ultrasound, I was about 7 weeks and 3 days, so it was very early in my pregnancy, but it was nice just to get that first ultrasound done. I didn't have a lot of severe symptoms during my first trimester, but I was definitely a lot more tired than usual. Like, I napped every day after work. All I wanted to do was sleep. I was always just so tired, and my boobs were also so sore. I never really suffered from any morning sickness. There was maybe 5 days where I would wake up during the night just feeling kind of nauseated and queasy, but I never threw up from it. One kind of interesting symptom is that my sense of smell and taste were so strong. Like I could smell everything so intensely. Some foods really turned me off. Like I used to love tofu, but the thought of like the texture of tofu just grossed me out so much, and I couldn't eat tofu anymore, which was really sad for me. And also like really strong tasting meals I couldn't stomach. But other than that, like I never got sick, I never threw up, so I'm very lucky, I think. And then like midway through my first trimester, I started to just feel a little bit queasy all the time. And I was also so hungry all the time, and I found that if I didn't eat right away, I would feel even more queasy. So it did help to eat meals more often or have snacks more often. But other than that, it was just kind of like a general slight queasiness all the time. But it really wasn't that bad. Like I think a lot of women get it a lot worse. And then towards the end of my first trimester, that queasiness went away and a lot of the symptoms went away, and I was left feeling like, am I even pregnant anymore? Like I just felt totally fine and normal, which made me feel anxious, like, am I still pregnant? Is everything okay? My doctor assured me that everything was fine. I applied for a few different midwives in my area. Unfortunately, pretty much all of them were already fully booked for September, which is when I'm due. So that was kind of scary and disappointing that they were already fully booked, and I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to find a midwife nearby. But thankfully there was one that had availability for a September due date. So because of COVID, a lot of the appointments are virtual rather than going into the office. So my first meeting with them was online, and we did a video chat, and it was just for me to get to know them and for them to get to know me. So at this office there's 2 midwives and a student, and everyone just seemed really nice, and it felt like it was gonna be a good fit for me. And I just felt very thankful since they were my only option. But I am really happy with them, and that first meeting went really well, and we went through kind of all my medical history, and I got to ask them all the questions that I had, and I didn't feel rushed, and I didn't feel like stressed to write everything down like I had during my first appointment with my family doctor. So they definitely put me at ease, and I started to feel like a lot more confident knowing that if I had questions, I could email them or call them, and it would just be a much more personal experience. But I did mention to them that since a lot of my symptoms just completely went away and I didn't really feel pregnant anymore, that I really wanted to be able to hear the baby's heartbeat. So they booked me in for an in-person appointment so I could come in and listen to the heartbeat. And that first in-person appointment went so well, and I felt so like comfortable and at ease. And then when I got to hear the heartbeat, it was just such an emotional moment. And she warned me that when you're early in your pregnancy, sometimes it takes a while to find the heartbeat, and that there was nothing to worry about. But she found the heartbeat right away, and she was like, oh wow. And she's like, that's such a strong heartbeat, the baby sounds so happy. And I mean, obviously you can't tell if the baby's happy from the heartbeat, but it just made me so happy to hear that, and I had like tears in my eyes. And I mean, because of COVID, my husband couldn't come with me to hear the heartbeat, so she let me like film it on my phone just so I could send it to him after, and I sent it to my family and my friends, and it was just such a special moment to hear that. And yeah, I felt so emotional and so happy to hear the heartbeat.
They sound so happy.
We did decide to wait a bit before telling our family and friends that I'm pregnant. So it was about 2.5 to 3 months when I started to tell friends and family, like as I saw them or as I talked to them on the phone, I started to tell them. And telling my parents was really fun. We actually filmed it and my mom was just like, I knew it, I knew you were pregnant. Because she had been bugging me about it for a while, kind of suspecting that I was pregnant, and I kept just being like, no, no, not yet. So it was so fun to be able to officially tell her, and my dad was so happy, and when I told my sister, she was so happy, and it was just such a like special and emotional moment. It was
family weekend.
Oh my goodness.
I knew it. You kept asking.
It's the mom's sixth sense for sure.
Oh, that is awesome.
Is she?
So happy. Maybe Dash showed me.
Well, I'm supposed to open something too?
It's in the bottom.
It's your ultrasound.
Oh my god. That was the 7-week ultrasound, so it's like the size of a peanut here. Oh wow.
Little peanut.
It was just so great to finally be able to tell our family and friends the news. And my husband's family don't live near us. They live in northern British Columbia. He wanted to be able to tell them in person, so we've kept it a secret this whole time. And actually this weekend he flew up to see them, so he's telling them like right now. So I'm just really happy for him that he finally got to tell them the news. I'm currently 16 weeks right now, but I'm not going to post this video until a couple weeks from now, just because we're going to officially announce it on Facebook and Instagram on Easter weekend, so that's next weekend. So after that, then I'll post this video. I have a couple different options for some baby announcement pictures to post online, and they're really cute. One is more Easter themed, and the others are very nerdy themed because my husband and I are very nerdy. And then also on Easter weekend, we're gonna do the gender reveal. So I'll try to film that and post that in a future video, but we're so excited to find out the gender. Like, I just want to know so bad. I want to go shopping and buy cute clothes, and we want to decorate the nursery. It's just been so hard not knowing so far, so I'm really excited to find out next weekend. In terms of a baby bump, I feel like I'm not really showing yet. Before I got pregnant, I already had a little bit of lower belly fat, so I feel like it kind of still looks the same. And also I'm very tall, so I feel like there's a lot more space for the baby to hide without it showing. I am excited though to have like the big baby bump and to feel like, oh yeah, I'm definitely pregnant and everyone is gonna know I'm pregnant, because right now you definitely can't really tell. But I'm sure in the coming weeks my stomach is definitely gonna start growing a lot faster, and you'll be able to tell soon, I'm sure. So I'm gonna try to show you my very small baby bump right now. So as you can see, it's not really a big bump. I mean, I think there's something there, but I don't think it's something that a stranger would notice. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun for me to make because I've definitely enjoyed watching other people's pregnancy videos, and I've learned a lot from them, and it just makes me excited for my pregnancy. My next video will include the gender reveal, and I'm so excited to find out if we're having a boy or a girl. So stay tuned for that next video, and I will see you next time. Bye!